we are going to do our All Australian team for 2025. Jesse, how is this going to work?
Well, we're going to use an intricate array of pulleys and levers to do a screen record. I probably don't need that charger in now. I can move that across.
Oh.
And that way, we can do this.
I do have a slight issue that I've got 1% on my iPad. Now,
That could be a factor.
it could be a factor of timidity.
Yeah.
But I do have a phone, so I
Okay.
can sort of like get access to this stuff as well.
Yeah.
So we'll go
That'd
with
be great. Because you did some outstanding preparation for this. But we're going to pick our All-Australian team and we're going to screen record it so that you can follow along with us. You can, on the AFL website, submit your own All-Australian team. It's not like the under-22 under-22 where it's fan-voted. This one will not count towards the All-Australian selection, but you can still do it for fun. It's probably some sort of raffle.
Is the 22 under 22 completely banned? Oh, I didn't even know
That's
that.
probably why Paul Curtis missed out.
Yeah, I thought that was harsh.
Yeah.
Let's do it. The 2025 All-Australian team selected by Jesse and I. Now, I think some of the considerations here, Jesse, just off the top, we talked about it before. I sort of have a thing where I probably lean towards players that have been in successful teams.
I hate this.
Yeah, I know you hate this.
Continue.
If there's this only applies though if there's a similarity to two players. I feel like their seasons are quite even.
Like a tie break.
A tie-break type situation. I would lean to the player who's been in the more successful team. That's me personally. You're not really into that.
No, I think some of these players have harder jobs because they not in every case is a case by case thing, but in certain case, or a lot of cases, it's harder to be an All Australian player in a bottom four team.
We'll discuss that as we go along.
Yeah.
So I feel like the positional clarity that I would give it, I feel like you have to build it somewhat as a team, and they have to have played a certain amount of play in a certain position, like to some extent. But also, I feel like there's not many, for example, in the AFL, there's not many All-Australian level players that just play wing.
Yeah, exactly. And equally, you wouldn't go too far the other way where you're picking a genuine midfielder that is only a stoppage player and chuck them on a half-forward flank. That's too extreme, right?
That's too extreme.
So we got to go case by case, really.
So we're going to honour that.
Yeah.
Let's get stuck in. You've got it up there. You've got the players. You can kind of see the players that are in line for this. These are the guys that have been put into the squad, right?
Yep.
The 40-man squad, and then we're going to break it down.
Yep.
Now, my first thing with these defenders, are we going to pick the keys first and just put them across the fullback line?
We can do that. We can do that.
Maybe that'd be...
It'd be simpler to do that way.
It would be simpler.
Yeah, so let's start with our key position players. Anyone that comes straight off the bat, lock.
Yes. Sam Taylor.
Yes, I was going to say that would be my first choice here.
And I've actually seen him out of a lot of people's teams, Sam Taylor, which is really, really strange to me.
Vic bias, bro.
Absolute Vic bias. He has played 18 games. So of the players that are sort of in the mix, he's played the least amount of games, but he clearly has the highest AFL player ratings of 11.31. His disposals per game, I mean, it's not really a factor for key position players, but he's got 14.3. Defensive 1v1s is massive for him, so 3.3 overall, but it's the loss percentage. So when he is in a one-on-one contest, he only loses 11.9% of those, which is considerably better than sort of the next best key position defenders. I think that's particularly relevant for the Giants, given how many inside 50s they concede. I've got a little table there, not that you can see it on the screen, but you've probably seen it there.
Yeah.
They concede 56 inside 50s a game.
Wow.
Which is a pretty large number. When you look at teams like Carlton and Brisbane and Collingwood, who have defenders in the mix for this, 48, 49, 48.
I don't need... Does West Coast concede that many?
Probably not.
I didn't think so.
I think it's 17th in the comp.
Okay. I mean, we could be the 18th.
Probably 18th.
But I didn't think we did even... I would have said less than 56.
Yeah, so they get a lot of ball coming his way.
Yeah.
And he's still that good. Intercept marks, he's the best in the comp, 3.8. Intercept possessions, he's the best in the comp. He's right up there for spoils. It's just like it's too much of a volume of numbers overall. And given that they do concede that much ball in the back half, I think he's just a lock.
I agree. Yeah, no arguments. I think he's been an elite player for some time. And the 18 games thing, I mean, you sort of just accept that there's probably a threshold at which you say, yes, he can play All-Australian and he can't. I think 18 games, there's been a number of those players who have made the All-Australian team with 18, and I think it's loosely like 16, is it?
Yeah. That's another quick conversation to have just on when someone has played less games. Do you sort of like in your head, do you scale it down as in, okay, so he's got to have played this much better than the other guys because he's played 4 less games. I don't. I kind of just say he's played 18 good games.
Yes and no. I think, like, for instance, I'm thinking key forwards. If you've played less games, then your average has the potential to be higher for goals per game. I know that's simplistic, but it kind of depends. And I think 16 feels like a lot less than, say, 18.
Yeah.
If someone who's played 16 games.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Probably more how I do it, which maybe isn't the correct way to do it, but like I feel like there's a cutoff.
Yeah. I think it's 16, but 16 feels, for me, quite low to make the All-Australian team.
Yes, it does.
I feel like it's probably 17 or 18.
I feel like 18 is safe, though.
Yeah.
Safe
yeah.
enough
Sam Taylor,
overall. So Sam Taylor is definitely in. Do you have anyone else?
So for the second key position player, I like Jacob Wiedering here. I think for defensively, I mean, you've got the numbers in front of you and I don't, but I looked at him earlier. And his one-on-one loss percentage is really high. Forgive me if the screen keeps going black. It's my computer. We've got it back now. But his one-on-one loss percentage is quite low as well. Is he second?
He's second
to
of all key defenders.
Yeah. I think he, in terms of that defensive player, again, probably, I mean, Carlton would also be fairly high in the inside 50s conceded.
No,
they were pretty good?
They're actually pretty good.
Well, forget I said that then.
That's because they're protected by a pretty good ball-winning midfield.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Nonetheless, I mean, he won it last year. That's not an argument for him winning it this year, but I think there's been a sustained body of work there. I think, I've lost one. I just read it on the screen there. I think Jacob Wiedering is my second one, but who are you thinking? Because we have to decide it together.
Yeah, so he's one of the ones that I've got. I had in my head, the 2 locks were Sam Taylor and Harris Andrews.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
As a different type, like Harris Andrews, as much as he doesn't have that win percentage, in fact, he's actually pretty poor. He loses 28.6% of defensive one-on-ones.
Yeah, it's really high.
Which is much higher. So he's not as much of a one-on-one type player. What he does give you is a lot of spoils. So those rangy long arms get into a lot of this stuff. He's pretty good with his intercept marking and his intercept possession work as well, 7.2. So not as good as Taylor at 8.8, but he's above the average there. He's sort of in that next best group. He's good for player ratings, and I feel like there is an element of Harris Andrews where like he's a leader of that back line. You could make the same argument for Wiedering there in this conversation as well. But they're kind of different types. Like I feel like Wiedering will be that big-bodied guerrilla defender that has that one-on-one. That's probably another reason I rate Sam Taylor so highly, because he's not as big a size as Wiedering to take on these big guys, but he still can. But yeah, I feel with Andrews, he's probably doing a little bit more outside of physical sense.
Yeah.
And that's where the spoils and the intercept possessions come into it a little bit more. So he was sort of mine. Again, I'm probably splitting that a little bit on Brisbane having a more successful season and Carlton struggling a little bit. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's an either or with those 2 players? Or do you feel like for you there was an element where Andrews was in as well?
I like Wiedering for the defensive aspect. I didn't have Harris Andrews in my team personally.
So it will be an either or.
Yeah, and for me, again, I think in theory it should be harder for Wiedering because he plays for Carlton rather than Harris Andrews at the Brisbane Lions. That one-on-one percentage throws me a little bit.
Yeah,
for me. So.
I think it's because they're different types. I think also like system does come into that a little bit as well, where you can get isolated. I feel like with these 2 teams, I would agree with you if it was a really low team, but Carlton aren't necessarily a side that get
a lot of inside 50s.
A lot of inside 50s. Yeah, they're not that kind of a team where they just get absolutely smothered. So I'm not sure if the fact that Carlton are worse in this instance is a factor.
Fair.
I don't know if I really want to die on this hill, though, because I didn't ever feel... If you argued Taylor, I would have died on this hill.
Oh, sure.
But I'm not going to die on the Harris Andrews. So I would be happy to have Jacob Wiedering in there.
Cool.
My third one,
Let's go
and he was the kind of the 50-50 with Wiedering for me, was Josh Worrell.
I also went Worrell.
So we'll go...
So we don't need to debate too much about that one.
Yeah. And his is definitely, like, if just to kind of explain his inclusion, he's a different type of key position defender.
Yeah.
The one-on-one percentage, he's not great in that area as well, like 17.5% of one-on-ones. Not that that's bad, but he's more of a high disposal key position defender, 17.7 there. Not a contested marker like the other ones as well. So it's more of a distribution thing.
Yeah. So we'll go with Worrell there.
I'm
happy there. So an inaugural All-Australian for Josh Worrell, who was a second-round pick a number of years ago. Forget the year, to be honest.
Great selection.
Yeah.
So that modern defender type. So should we go to the smalls?
Yeah, let's move. And we'll just decide. We'll go 3, assuming we won't pick any more key backs. Let's find 3 players here that are probably the running defender types or at least medium-sized. So who's a lock for you?
I mean, there's one that's just standing out so much here. I've just seen Woody come up with a comment here.
Sam Collins.
He said he's Taylor, Wilkie, and then hard to pick between Worrell, Ash and Vlosten. Okay, that's a bit of a mix of small and tall.
Yeah, that's right.
So
you're confusing us.
You're confusing us. Damn it, Woody. Damn it.
Hell, Lord.
Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller.
I don't know.
I think you have to put him in as a running defender.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, clearly in the last few weeks, he's been a sort of utility or a midfielder, I suppose. But 22 games, 16.13 rating points, 30.2 disposals, 658 metres gained. He's top for all of those. His score involvements are 6.4, the highest of all the running defenders, and he's kicked 17 goals off a half-back flank / midfield. 17 goals. The next best is 9 by a defender. And ironically, he plays for the same team, and it's Jack Sinclair. But as far as from an offensive point of view, there is no one better than Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller, and I don't think there's any argument that could suggest that he's not an All-Australian this year.
There is no argument from me. He's the biggest lock of them all. So, past that, I feel like it gets a little more even. There's so many players here you want to give credit to. I mean, there's Lockie Ash, Bailey Dale, Josh Dacos, Dane Zorko, Jordan Clark, Max Holmes. Now, I suppose we could pick Holmes on the bench or as a mid.
Yeah.
I mean, he spends a bit of time in the midfield, doesn't he?
I've got a bit of an idea of where I want Holmes.
Yeah? Sexually?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, continue.
No, that's, I wasn't going to actually bring that up, but I do feel like there's another kind of lock amongst these back flankers.
Whitfield?
No.
No, that's his name, so it's a pun. I'm derailing. Continue.
Wait, I didn't get that.
Lock Whitfield.
Lock Whitfield.
That's his name. Lockie.
Oh, Lockie. Yeah. Damn it, Jesse. You can. It is Bailey Dale.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think he is the next most obvious as a running defender. Like very well balanced. Again, like 14.41 ranking points, 27.2 disposals, 545 metres gained.
How many posies did he get in that game earlier this year? Was it like 49?
49.
It was 49?
He was one off getting the big 5-0.
Yeah.
One thing that he does slightly differently to Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller in that similar role is his intercept work. So 1.5 intercepts per game and 6.1 intercept possessions. So he wins the ball back a little bit more than, say, Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller, who's kind of all offense. So gives it a little bit more balance as a team. Not that we're really doing the All-Australian team on that. But
No, you're right. No, I agree. He's a lock. His production has been consistent throughout the year. I don't think there's too much doubt about that. But the next one gets hard. I didn't even mention Vostruin. Do you think Vostruin makes his team? I just think the strength of his opponents for this third position here. I suppose we still have a bench spot to consider at the end if we want to do that. But Zorko, Dacos of the Josh variety, Clark, potentially Holmes, Ash and Vostruin, let alone Jack Sinclair and Rosie.
The thing that would caress me in the way of, not sure why I use that word, the thing that would put me in Vlosten's direction is he's a different type to all of these guys. The rest of these players are really offensive. Vlosten, not at all. Like more of a low disposal. I mean, 19 disposals a game, where all the other guys are like 25 plus, really. The others are all 500, 600 metres gained players, and he's more like 300 metres gained, 375 to be exact. Where he really excels and beats all of the other ones convincingly is intercept possessions and intercept marks. 2.6 intercept marks. Like he is that shield of the defence. Ultimately, they have had a lot of ball back there. So he's probably had the opportunity to be able to float across and take some marks as well, but he's obviously had to do that in a pretty young side where he's been the main guy. So that's the argument. I think the other main standout amongst the more running defenders, like you said, Sinclair, Ash, Dacos, Clark, for me, it's probably Dane Zorko.
Okay. I was thinking Ash, but...
Really?
But I am not going to die on that hill. I mean, Zorko in particular, I've really noticed him lately.
He's been really good lately.
And Josh Dacos, I think I had in my first draft of this as well.
The thing that's tipping me over the edge for Zorko is just how much he's involved in Brisbane scores. Like 5.6 score involvements, Ash's 4.4. So definitely someone that's getting the ball slightly in closer to goal areas, higher areas. And you can just see how much of a big part of Brisbane's game style Dane Zorko is. It's kind of everything, right? The ball movement.
Yeah, I mean, his kickouts against Fremantle in particular. Like, it's actually amazing. Well, who's the oldest All Australian we've ever had? I don't expect you to know that, but Zorko must be pushing it now. He must be pushing it.
He must be. What is he, 36, 35?
Yeah, 35 or 36.
Yeah, he's very old. We've got a few comments in here just to go along with it. Rogue Riot says, Nas, Jacos, Dale. So similar to us with Dale and Nas. Definitely the third position is the most difficult one. I do feel like Josh Dacos has had some big games, but I feel like he took like a little while maybe at the beginning of the season to get going. I'm not sure if he's been as, what's the word for it? Like
omnipotent.
Well, no, that actually wasn't the word at all. The word I was going to say for Josh Dacos was like integral.
Sure.
To that team. Like I feel like some of these other players like Dane Zorko, he's sort of like everything about their ball movement, where I don't think Josh Dacos is so important to Collingwood.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It is funny that we don't have a single Collingwood player in here yet, but we need to ignore that, I think, for the time being, and we just got to pick our guys.
For sure.
I'm fine with Zorko. I'm genuinely so torn between a bunch of these guys, gross, that I am happy to go Zorko.
So Woody's Dale, Holmes and Sinclair with Nas on the wing. That seems weird to me though, given Nas has played so much halfback and Holmes hasn't played any, or not much anyway, not as much.
He's eligible for this on the website. Like you can put him as a defender here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. No, he does. And he takes kick-ins and stuff like
that's
a fair
true.
bit.
Yeah.
Ash, Zorko, Vlosten, that's rogue.
But the way he's phrased that is that Vlosten is the best.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if he meant to, because it's left to right, right to left.
Someone's put Pendlebury. Is Pendlebury in the squad even?
He's not selectable as a defender. I don't think so. Pendlebury. No.
I'm Zorko or Vlosten. I'm probably slightly leaning Zorko.
I would go Zorko out of that choice. So I'm happy with that.
Who was the other one that you wanted?
I liked Ash, but I also thought Jordan Clark. Oh, no, I'd say Dacos or Ash would have been my backups, then Jordan Clark.
I feel like Ash, again, like he came out of the blocks really hard and has probably died a little bit. And he's sort of like, I don't know, it's a tag team with Lockie Whitfield with him. They both do like similar role. They're both that kind of like really offensive defender. And I feel like it's a shared job for them. Whereas like for who are we talking about? Zorko, very much the fulcrum in that role for the Brisbane team.
Nice. Yes. Yep. I'm happy with that. So we have moved to our centre line. So they're not our followers. They're not a ruck. So we're actually picking two wings and a mid. We can decide whether we want to pick actual wingmen. I suppose as you look at it, how many pure wings are in this team?
Do you want to try to get the wings? I had a bit of a thought myself on the wingman. I wanted Max Holmes as a winger. I actually went...
Or was Bailey Smith too?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, let's go double Geelong here.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you're comfortable with that.
That's fine. I reckon both of these guys are in the team, so I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And positionally, they probably make sense most as the wingman. So I'll go Bailey Smith on one. And then I want to keep it in order. So let's leave Holmes and then pick our centerman. So, look, I think we can go pretty obvious here. I mean, does Bond make your team?
Yeah.
Dacos makes your team. Like, we can just choose one of them. So let's go Bond. If you want to talk about him, we can.
Yeah, I had in my head that the centerman, if you want to be traditional about it, it's either Bont or Jordan Dawson.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of...
So, I think some of these guys are locks and I'd never argue against Bont in this team. How many games? I don't suppose you have off the top of my head.
No, I do 17 games for Bont and Pelly. So
that is borderline, but I think he's still got to make it.
It is. I mean, his numbers are outrageous.
Yeah.
He's gone at 66% centre bounce attendances, which is actually one of the lowest out of all these midfield players. So I think there's maybe a question mark that he gets on a half-forward flank.
Yeah.
Because he has played forward quite a lot. His first possession to clearance, so when he gets his hands on the ball, 87.6% of the times, he executes the clearance. Like, that's way above anybody else.
Yeah, wow.
Clearance numbers are a little bit more modest, just 6, where like the best are probably up around the 8 mark, but that is because he spends more time forward. The scoring, though, 9.2 score involvements, and the next best is 8.1. and he's kicked 19 goals, which brings him in as the second top goal scorer, having played less games.
Yeah.
So the goals per game is outrageous as well.
Best player in the comp, in my opinion.
Yes.
So I think
just has to be in the team. And I feel like even though he's a mid-forward hybrid, you reward Bontempelli with a midfield spot.
Yeah.
Given his quality.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I got some nominations for Anderson, Curtin. That's a bold one. McCluggage a good shout. We'll move through because we got bench spots and stuff to consider here.
Yes.
So what will it ask us next?
So the people the ones that people are saying there, like Dawson and Anderson, they're probably going to make the team.
I think they're in the team. We still have the two follower spots, but we are now with our half forwards. So we're picking 3 small forwards to medium types first now.
Yes.
Let's do it that way.
Yes.
Okay. So any absolute locks out of the non-key position forwards? I mean, to throw some names at you, Heaney, Jack Higgins kicked 50 goals this year, Cozzy Pickett, Jamie Elliott, Isaac Rankin, Dawson is a choice here for a forward. But I think those are the obvious ones, to be honest.
Yeah, he's kicked a lot of goals, Dawson.
Yeah.
I mean, I reckon there's a world where he ends up on a half-forward flank.
Yeah.
I was going to put him in the midfield.
I was too.
If you're happy with that.
Yeah.
The player, if we kind of draw a player here that has played a bit as a mid-forward hybrid, sort of like over their career, probably more of a midfield, definitely more of a midfielder now, is Isaac Heaney was the one that I was going to say. So
I totally agree with that. I thought he had missed more games than he has this year. And I think he is still one of the best players in the competition. And I think his numbers are pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
He's played 22 games.
Yeah, I thought he missed football. Maybe he just had a quiet patch. But then I think he's emerged to be so elite in a lot of these games this year.
And you have to, I think with Isaac Heaney, you have to consider the clutch factor and the big game player. Because in this back end of the season where they did start to play better football, you could argue that back in the beginning of the season, when they needed to bank wins, the whole team was a little bit down. But I thought he was still pretty consistent across that time.
Yeah.
36 goals.
Wow.
For the season.
Yeah,
as an accumulating midfielder as well, at almost 24 disposals per game as well. Big for score involvements and those sort of numbers as well. So I reckon he is, again, he can just have those outrageous games.
Yeah.
Where he kicks 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah, 5 and 23 I think he had recently. Was that against Brisbane? I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, that was the game they were upset by 2 points, right?
Yeah.
So class player, and he, again, is it a bit dodgy to put him on a half-forward flank? Maybe, but
not if you kick 36 goals.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Exactly. And I think
Bont double Bont. Sorry.
Yeah, what did Bont kick?
19 from
19,
17.
That's right, yeah.
That's a good return, but...
Yeah, for sure. The other player that I think would almost have to be a lock here, and as the leading goal kicker of the small forward brigade, is Jamie Elliott.
Yeah, totally.
I think maybe there's a bit of recency bias against him because he Collingwood's form coming into finals, but his front end of the season was incredible.
Yeah.
As that sort of hybrid type forward, 50 goals, 2.3 goals per game, which is the highest amongst all these players. Just good numbers across the board, really.
Yes.
And just lethal.
Yep, he's a lock. Rogue Wright agrees. He says, I will not hear otherwise. Elliott could not be any more of a lock. I didn't really consider not having Elliott in this team for all those reasons you just discussed.
Yeah. And I do think someone's put in the comments, Rogue Wright here, Pickett, Elliott, Heaney. I completely agree.
That's what I was thinking.
That was the next player I was going to say.
Yeah. Again, another player who has hit the scoreboard and also... I don't know what his disposal average is, but I feel like there's been games he's had high 20s disposals.
Well, he's averaged 19.7 across the season.
That's
he's
pretty
kicked
high.
38 goals. So his disposals are getting up close to an Isaac Heaney, who's a full-time midfielder. Pickett's more of an impact mid, right?
Yeah.
He's played 19 games, so he's played 3 less games than a Heaney. Kicked more goals. 2 goals per game is what his per game target, and 7.1 score involvement. So of all of the small forwards, highest for score involvements as well.
There you go. I don't think there's any debate about that. It's interesting that the chat agreed, or at least Rogie did.
Yeah, that's very rare that everybody is they're the 3 players.
I'm glad because there's a few other good shouts. I thought Rankin would be in this team when I first did it, and Higgins, 50 goals. It's you kick 50 goals as a small forward. I feel like it often gets you All Australian, just maybe not this year.
Yeah.
We still have a bench spot though. Full forward. All right, we're picking our talls. So should we start with Jeremy Cameron? Do you think there's any suggestion he doesn't make it?
No.
No, yeah, okay,
no way.
Good. Yeah, I thought you might.
What's he up to? I've got 79 goals, but I think
it's 83.
83 now. Yeah.
Which I think is the most since JK. We might have even beaten JK's 82. So since Buddy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a ridiculous player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Over a long period of time, there's probably not... maybe like people would make an argument there that Geelong have had a fairly good draw. So he's kicked a lot of goals against lower quality opposition, but I think you have to, given the entire year and all of that sort of stuff, and you can only play what's in front of you, right? So
Yeah. Okay, so then it gets a little more subjective because second in the Coleman, I think, is Ben King. Or if he's not second, I'll just double check that. If he's not second, he's still got a game in hand anyway. He is second with a game in hand. So you'd think he'd be a consideration.
OJZN says the key forwards are easy: Cameron, Gunston, and Thilthorpe. I don't think it's easy because I think Sam Darcy must be considered. 16 games though.
I reckon he would have hit 17 today because
he would have.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I did this.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, player rating 15.39.
Mm-hmm.
The next best key position forward rating is 13.64.
Okay,
which is Thilthorpe. So he's got a 2-point better rating than Thilthorpe and Cameron approximately. He's kicked 48 goals for the season, which averages out to 3 per game, just under Cameron, but more than Thilthorpe. His contested marks are really what sets, like as a key position forward, that's the thing that sets him apart. 3 per game. Next best is 1.9.
Wow.
It's a big jump.
Who is that 1.9? Thilthorpe?
Thilthorpe.
Yep.
Yeah, and Cameron's obviously much lower because he's a different
yes
sort of player. I think factoring into that too, like 14.3 disposals. As much as I don't look particularly at disposals, but just to show that the kind of player that he is, that actually does get a bit of ball as well. When most of these other guys are more like 10, 11, 12, he's up at 14.3, which is the most of all of the players, like more than Cameron. I think most people would sort of expect that Cameron's that player that gets higher up the ground, gets some uncontested ball and then kicks, but Darcy does that more than Cameron.
Yeah. You know, my only thing with Darcy is he's missed more than a quarter of the season.
Is that true? Is it 17 games?
Because out of 23,
7 games.
Or it's about a quarter.
It is too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is because that's 7, isn't it? How many did that
no, it's 6 because he's 23 plus a
yeah,
bye.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So that's the part that makes me a little bit uneasy about picking him. When some of these guys have had just sensational seasons, like Gunston kicking 61. Is there a lock for you before we get to Darcy?
So for me, the only 2 locks are Cameron and Thilthorpe.
Interesting, because again, not going too much on goals, but Thilthorpe's like 5th in the Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm probably okay with the Thilthorpe one.
You know what, though, I factor in with Thilthorpe, and I know people don't like this because, again, it comes into the team thing, but they've got Fogarty and Walker also kicking around in their forward line who become targets that take ball away from him a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that actually plays against him here as far as his numbers and his goal output. When you actually consider what he does for the team and the contested marks that he takes different times in games has to be factored in a little bit over just pure volume.
Yeah. Yeah. He's also won some games for him.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
I'm happy with Thilthorpe actually in hindsight. He also rucks as well, which
he
I don't
rucks
know if
as
you
well.
want to pick a second ruck, but
yeah, I feel like based on, I am going a lot off the eye test.
Yeah.
Of that, but I mean, again, you get a team that comes from 15th on the ladder to 1st on the ladder. It's pretty significant, and some of their players have to be responsible for that. I think he's been one of the
that's true
more significant ones for sure. When you've had like Dawson and Rankin were great last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Thilthorpe's a big riser.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So Darcy is the question.
Darcy, yeah. So who would he be competing against for this last box for you? Gunston. Okay, I was also leaning towards Gunston. I think when he kicked 61 goals.
Did you want to make an argument for King? Because I'm not.
Oh, I forgot about King for a second.
I know he's second in the Coleman. I feel like he's fairly one-dimensional.
Do we have any games he played?
That's a good question. My argument against Ben King, in a way, is the opposite to what I'm saying about Thilthorpe.
He's the main target.
He's clearly the main target, and he's playing with 2 really young guys in Walter and Ethan Reid. Where Thilthorpe, like, there's obviously going to be, like, if you look at that entire Adelaide forward line, you even bring in, like, Keys has kicked 35 goals nearly. Rankin's kicked 35 goals nearly. Alex Neil-Bullen's kicked 28 goals or something like that. There's, like, Rochelli's kicked, for the games that he's played, he's kicked a lot of goals. So there's, like, they've kicked a lot of goals, but there's also a lot of goal kickers there to get involved.
Who's taken goals off Gunston though? If we're considering this a Gunston versus King thing.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, I think Gunston kicking 61 or whatever it is more surprising. Has he actually been better?
It's a good question. Is it too romantic?
Yeah, that's kind of possible.
It may be in my head. I was thinking with him because he's like a clear kind of a third tall. It seems more impressive.
Yeah.
But who is actually competing? Yeah,
and his age as well, which you factor in, yeah.
But you've had Lewis and Deere out of the team for extended periods. Like Chol's probably been the mainstay. You are going to kick to a Gunston. You're going to target a player like that.
Yeah.
He's a different type because we've gone for Riley Thilthorpe players here that are big contested markers, where Gunston's like an on-the-lead guy. He's only 0.5 contested marks. He goes at 2.3, which is clearly the highest on the lead. So he's more of the ball movement player, which probably suits Hawthorn with their kicking.
Yes, yeah.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
What are we going to do?
King has played one less game and he's got Essendon. He could kick 5 goals and end up on 67 goals and miss out on Australian. It's probably not the strongest argument, but I'm leaning towards King out of those two.
Yeah, it's a strange one for me. For some reason, when it comes to volume with the goals and stuff like that, it doesn't sort of bother me that he's like second in the Coleman.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit similar with Larky. At different points. Like I actually think the fact that they get kicked to a lot helps them more than the fact that they play in a poor team and it's harder. There's obviously certain character traits built into having to cope with that, but they've got such a good midfield. Like their midfield has dominated from stoppage and centre clearance, got him pretty good entries. He's going to be the only guy that gets targeted in there.
Is this all not true of Gunston though? Maybe Hawthorn's midfield isn't as dominant.
No, it's definitely not as dominant.
But they're both good teams. Gunston 3.2 goals per game. Oh, that's right. He might actually have a better average than King.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, okay.
He's got the highest is Cameron, 3.6. Gunston is 3.2.
Okay.
I'm leaning Gunston, but I'm happy to if you're more King.
Well, I'm not that bothered. I probably if it was just me, I probably would have gone King, but it's probably marginal. So we've gone with Phil Thorpe, Gunston, and Jeremy Cameron as our key forwards.
I sort of can't believe Darcy's not in there.
For
the season.
I think he would have had he played more than 17 games.
Yeah. That's tricky for me. Like that feels like that hurts me a little bit that he's not there.
Thomas says Chol kicked 36 goals as well. So that's just and Lewis and Deere will be the other targets there. But we're now on to the followers. Okay. Is there any doubt there's Max Gawn as the number 1 ruck?
No, not at all.
So we got to pick Max Gawn. I think that one makes sense. Aging like a fine wine.
Yep.
Not much needs to be said. We said Dawson is a lock.
There's 2 players that are locks here for me.
Yeah.
Jordan Dawson.
And Nick Dacos.
Exactly.
But sorry if I interrupted
your
flow there.
All I was going to say about that is like Dawson, I don't think we've seen for a long time, we haven't seen a midfielder mark the ball like Dawson as someone that can go in, win a big clearance for you, kick goals, like marks in the forward line and in the back line.
Lays a lot of tackles too, doesn't he? So he's defensively minded. So
yeah. Great captain.
Yeah. I don't think his disposal average is as high, but I think the way he hurts you is just...
No, and I think that plays into the fact that people said like he could potentially be a forward because he does float forward quite a lot. Yeah. I mean, 73% CBA, so he's a pretty...
That's pretty midfieldy.
Pretty midfieldy, but definitely someone that floats. But yeah, 23.7 disposals for Dawson, so he's lower than the top guys.
And then Dacos is the Brownlow favourite, and I think... There's not really too much doubt to be in this team.
No, I don't think so.
So now we're on to our bench. A few people calling for Grundy. I'm not sure.
People calling for Grundy. Grundy over Gawn? Nah.
Not over Gawn.
Nah.
So how do you want to structure this up in any particular way? I mean, I don't know about 4 mids personally.
You don't like 4 mids?
No, I think that's wild.
I know that doesn't make sense for a team, but how could you argue, say like just an example here, but say you went for like a Jordan Clark. How do you argue that over a Noah Anderson?
Well, I would have Noah Anderson in the team.
Yeah,
no. I know what you're saying. Like the caliber of midfielder is higher than the caliber of defender, but at the same time, we are choosing a team here, and Anderson's competing with midfielders, and Clark's competing with defenders. and it gets to a point where I think it's a bit wild to have extra midfield spots.
Yes.
When we're talking about 4.
Okay.
Personally. But let's just see how we go.
Let's just go through it.
How I would personally do it is 1 defender, 1 forward, 2 mids.
Really?
Yeah, but maybe let's start with mids. Should we start with mids?
Can I just draw you, though, to the 2024 team?
Mm-hmm.
Not that we have to stick to that.
Yeah.
But that was the interchange for that. Meanwhile, you had Nick Dacos on a wing. You had Errol Goulden on a wing, who, in fairness, did play wing. You also had Chad Warner and Isaac Heaney, who were both mids, play half forward in that team.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bench, you had Lockie Whitfield, who's a running defender.
Yeah.
Lockie Neal, Adam Treloar, Zach Butters. So 3 mids,
Yeah.
1 running defender.
I mean, it's better than 4 mids, but it's probably not.
It's
how
better
I
than
would do
4
it.
mids, but it's, yeah. Just as a guide.
Yeah,
we
just
don't
a
have
guide.
to stick to that at all.
Yeah. So on Noah Anderson, is there any scenario where he doesn't make your team?
No,
It's a bit hard for me to exclude him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gold Coast players nominated.
Yes. Well, I mean, that midfield's been exceptional.
Yeah.
Tuke Miller,
And we
Matt
haven't
Rowell.
picked any of them yet. That's why there's still so many left.
I almost...
Okay, Noah Anderson.
Yeah, I think Noah has to be in there. We're
Yeah.
talking, like, as far as his just general output, like, he's only kicked the 8 goals, so he's a little bit lower in that sense, but 30.4 disposals, 7 clearances per game. I think as a kind of, like, transitional midfielder, he's probably been one of the best in the comp, and a big reason as captain of Gold Coast that they've made such a surge up the ladder. The only argument that I would make, if we're talking an either or, like, and this isn't really an either or position, but like Matt Rowell in that team, you could probably argue that this season, compared to the other midfielders we've got in this All-Australian team, is Matt Rowell like a bit of a point of difference? That you could make that team argument thing. I know this team doesn't play anyone, but he's a different type of mid, a more in and under first possession player, where Anderson's more that run and carry kind of guy.
I get that, but who ultimately is better for their team and goes further to winning the game? I still think it's Anderson.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's just
We've also run into an immediate snag. I see 2 midfielders that I think should be in the team in addition to this. I think we're going to probably agree on Ed Richards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
he has to be in this team.
Yeah.
Outrageous numbers this season.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely outrageous. He's kicked 22 goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 goals, 8.5 score involvement. So off just a pure numbers point of view, like far better numbers than Anderson.
Yeah.
And sometimes, again, like that can be team-based, right? Like Adelaide and Western Bulldogs players tend to have more scoring numbers because they put up big scores this season.
Yeah. Gotcha. That surprised me. I didn't realise he'd kick so many.
Yeah. He's a big dog.
He is.
Was the other one
literally.
that you were looking at was McCluggage?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
So
good.
he's
I'm
in
glad
for
you
me
agree.
too.
I had a feeling you weren't going to put him in. So I think
this is
McCluggage
what
has to make
happens
this team.
because like I went through this process during the week to have a bit of a look at it, and I was like, I want to get some balance in this team. I want some defenders and I want some forwards on the bench. But then you're like, okay, I'm picking between Jordan Clark and McCluggage.
Yeah.
And it's hard to make that call, right?
So he's does Butters make the All-Australian team?
No,
he missed how many games?
He missed only 2.
Okay. Interesting.
15.92 rating points. Good disposal numbers and stuff like that. He's averaging 28 per game. Just kicked the 1 goal and 6.1 disposals. So, like, while I reckon he's a real heart and soul player for Port Adelaide, but I think when you factor in the numbers aren't jumping off the page, particularly. He had a better season last year, statistically, and they've had a considerably worse season as a team, and it really dropped off. Like, there's elements of that where, you could argue from a leadership point of view, he's probably been really strong for them, but I don't think you could argue Butters into the team this year.
I'm fine with that. It is getting harder to actually pick that 4th spot because I am trying to avoid midfielders a little bit.
And they just keep looking at you in the face, don't
yeah,
they?
but even then, I'm actually finding it hard to really isolate one that I think is a must-have. I mean...
So we've got Anderson, we've got Dacos, we've got McCluggage, we've got Dawson, we've got Richards, we've got Bont, we've got Bailey Smith, we've got Max Holmes, and we've got Isaac Heaney as a forward.
Yeah, I think we've oversupplied with mids.
We definitely have.
Yeah. Okay, let's just throw some names out there. I think Jordan Clark is pretty close to this team. I think Lockie Ash is pretty close to this team.
I agree. I wouldn't go Ash. I'd go Clark over Ash.
I'm happy with that from that point of view.
Yep. I think so. These are the ones I'll throw into the mix. I'll throw Jordan Clark, I'll throw Matt Rowell.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the next mid in.
Yeah.
I'll throw Luke Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll throw... I feel like there's a forward I'm missing.
I would throw Grundy as a option, but Jackson is probably more that second ruck than Grundy is.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, maybe we're being inconsistent with how we do that. But Jackson is very good.
I don't feel this team needs to have 2 rucks.
It doesn't. But is Jackson worthy? I think Jackson's probably... it's pretty... He kicked a lot of goals this year.
He kicked a lot of goals, so he's more of a forward and a utility. Like, I think Jackson's one of those players that kind of uniquely, he could sort of be in any team, in any position in a way.
I mean, we're about 8 or 9 mids deep. So, like, Rowell is like the 8th or 9th midfielder, and Jackson might be the best player of his type as well.
Yes.
So I kind of want to respect that. Sinclair, Rankin, players haven't even listed here. Dan Curtin is even in this squad.
No,
I didn't think so.
No. I mean, he's had a really good year from a young player perspective.
Yeah, it was just in the comments.
I think Oliver Dempsey's probably a similar one in that sense, where like a really good pure winger.
Yeah.
It probably isn't quite in the scope of being All Australian.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a look. Like you could put someone like a Jack Higgins. I know you kind of advocated for him earlier.
Yeah.
Ben Keys has had an unbelievable season.
Yeah. What do his numbers suggest? I know that when you watch him play, he's good. But
I mean, he really goes close to that sort of like deeper goal scorer because he's kicked 32 goals, which is right up there.
Yeah.
And then he's averaged 17 disposals per game as well. So he's going at 1.5 goals a game. 5.9 score involvements isn't particularly good. But I feel like, again, as far as like the problem is with him, it's like differentiating him between Neil Bullen, Rankin, even Neil Bullen. I said Neil Bullen, didn't I?
You did say,
Rochelle, the other one. It's like who's actually been better out of those guys because they've all produced a lot of goals.
Yeah.
So in some ways you think, it's more of a coaching thing, but they've got them all going. But he's had an incredible season too. Higgins, as you said, like 46 goals is pretty incredible. Ben Long's kicked
50, I think. I think it's 50.
It might be 50 now.
Yeah.
Has he played? Yeah, he's played today.
He played today. Did
Probably
he kick 4?
He must have.
Maybe I'm tripping, actually. No, sorry, it was 46. I decided in my head it was 50 somewhere along the line. It's still good.
Gotcha.
It's still good.
And then, I mean, you could make an argument for Vlosten, I guess, as well.
Yeah, that's true. But I think Jordan Clark was closer to this team for me than Vlosten.
Yep. I'm happy to go with that.
But we got Clark or Jackson. We don't have a single Fremantle player here yet.
Give us a tiebreaker, chat. Does Toby Green get the nod after today? I mean, Toby Green's had a great season as well. I didn't even mention him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of those guys that's a victim of his own incredible performances because you kind of expect more from him.
That's true. The fatigue.
He's kicked 37.
Yeah.
What did he kick today? He goes at 7 score involvements a game.
Yeah, wow.
So, he just makes stuff happen as well. And again, he's not like the focal point of that forward line. You've got like Jesse Hogan types in there as well.
He kicked 4 goals too. By the way, did you realise Darcy Wilson had 23 and 5?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see any of the stats to that game because we're getting ready for this.
Exactly.
That's incredible. I think it's... Okay, so at this point, I think it's Clark versus Matt Rowell.
Not Jackson.
And Jackson. For
me, Rowell is not as in the conversation as Clark
because
or Jackson.
Of the midfield
it is a
factor.
bit of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
like we were going 8 or 9 mids deep now. And I think this team would be kind of nonsense if we didn't have a single non-mid on the bench. So
Fair. Okay.
So we've got Anderson, Richards, McCluggage.
I think I'm probably Jackson.
Interesting.
I think I'm probably Jackson.
I'll probably go with that too.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. It's fine.
I'd be just as happy with Clark.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Jackson's probably just that more match winner.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so is Clark's probably not a match winner, but he's probably also one of the most important players.
I was going to say, I actually messaged you during that Brisbane game that Freo had, and I said he's their most important player.
Yeah.
And he is in a way, just from the the way that he gets involved with halfback. So,
but this team probably could have used a second ruck. Mind you, there's still Thorpe too.
Do you want to just put Clark in then? Put Clark in.
All right.
We're changing Jackson to Clark.
Yeah, I'm
we're
okay with
changing Jackson to Clark.
Yeah.
I feel like people in the chat may not be as keen on Jordan Clark because he's not as sexy a pick. But I think that's pretty good. Should we go over the team?
Yeah.
Let's have a
Is
look.
there a way to do that?
Yeah, if you go next from there,
Oh,
it should
beautiful.
bring up
Overarching. Yeah.
Let's go through it, Jesse. Let's do it.
Omnipotent. All right, Sam Taylor, Jacob Wiedering, and Worrell were our tall defenders. Then we went Nazaya, freed from Nazaya, Bailey Dale, and Dane Zorko as our back six. Any regrets there? I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, there's a few speculative. I think
Josh Dacos and Vlosten are really close, and I think there's a world where they get that bench spot as well.
Yeah. Bailey Smith, Bontempelli, and Holmes. There's not too much to say about that, I would have thought.
Yeah.
I think all three of those guys are all Australians this year. Forwards are Heaney, Elliott, and Pickett in terms of our medium to small types with some midfield rotations. Jeremy Cameron, Riley Thilthorpe, and Jack Gunston were our All-Australian key forwards. Our midfielders, or our on-ballers rather, were Max Gawn tapping it down to Dawson and Dacos, and our interchange comprised of 3 midfielders and a defender. We went Noah Anderson, Ed Richards, Hugh McCluggage, Jordan Clark. So, as we said, a few of those unlucky ones were Vlostruin and who was the other one you just said? It's been a long stream.
I mentioned
Josh Dacos. Luke Jackson and Rao were considerations.
The other one would have been Harris Andrews.
Yes. Yeah.
From the tall backs.
Yeah.
Because we went Worrell and Wiedering.
Yeah.
Right. Luke Jackson, like you said. And then I suppose like those small forwards, because we brought we brought a Heaney up.
Yeah.
To small forward. You could have gone Higgins, potentially could have gone Ben Long.
Yeah.
Or you could have gone for one of those more like specialist high half forward type players. But maybe none of them were actually like potent enough. I was going to say omnipotent then. Potent enough to actually like as far as from a goal kicking point of view. Because again, you're not looking for role players in this team. If you think somebody played a really good role like Brian Myers, it doesn't mean he makes the All-Australian team. He just had a good season. Yeah. He could be rewarded for that in their best and fairest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy with that.
Lovely.
Cool. So,
scrolling down.
Should we hit confirm?
We hit confirm. I don't know what happens then.
I can't be bothered submitting it.
We're not going
to. I probably have to submit my personal details.
What are people in the chat saying about that team? I feel like all Australian squads are so divisive.
Oh, it's submitted, but I didn't put like my name on it at all. Oh, well.
Okay.
Yeah. True footy.
We've got 74 on the stream. Elliot said you guys streaming the Brisbane game. We weren't planning on it. That'd be a long day.
I don't think I could pull that off, to be honest.
Joel Falconer said Sarong unlucky. Yeah, we didn't really. I don't think we picked really that first possession player necessarily. I mean,
no.
I think.
You wouldn't omit any of those midfielders for Sarong. I wouldn't have thought.
No, and it's more difficult to put. Like you'd have to be putting a Sarong in, and then you'd leaving out like a Holmes or Bailey Smith type. I imagine with your wingers and then you'd have to probably play like a Noah Anderson or a McCluggage type on a wing, something like that perhaps. But I'm fairly happy with that. Centre half back is dodgy. Who do we go? Centre half back? Do we go Wiedering?
Yeah, unless it's because we didn't pick them at centre half back, we picked them on the back line.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We didn't do the.
Well, I think we went Bailey Dale at the centre half.
I just find it easier to break your defence into like small and tall.
Yeah,
but
because they're competing with each other, so that makes sense.
Each to their own. Thomas Payet says Andrews over Wiedering. He has not been as good this year. I mean, I think we kind of discussed our reasoning there. There's probably been certain games where Wiedering has had poor games, I imagine, in some Carlton losses, where he's probably been a little bit exposed. But I think overall he has been... I mean, the numbers kind of don't lie as far as like how solid he's been across the full campaign. Out of the players you picked, the only one that I really disagree with is Wiedering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were... I was going to say edging toward, but you were thinking about...
I did have Harris Andrews
okay.
over Wiedering, but it wasn't one that I was particularly strong on. I think
there's good representation for some average sides in this team.
Is there?
I feel like there was a lot of players who didn't play finals this year.
Really?
Which now include Bailey Dale.
Yeah. Again, did like the Western Bulldogs season was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure.
14 wins, did we say? No Trembath. I like that. Matt Owies unlucky to miss.
Some others were Jacob Wietering. It was the biggest one there.
See, that's where my brand, probably I would have gone Harris Andrews, a finalist team.
Yeah.
Who else was that? Wietering?
Heaney didn't play finals.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Pickett didn't play finals.
Yeah. They were too good though.
Yeah.
Their seasons, I'm totally fine with those.
Yeah.
Nasiah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I reckon the mids mostly will be playing finals. Like Noah,
Geelong and
Richards.
Adelaide.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Bulldogs won't play finals though, so Bont's not.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bont's not missing.
Yeah.
He's not bloody missing.
Yeah.
Andrews, Vlosten, and Jackson stiff. I'd agree. They are. They're probably almost for me like the next three in. Not that we were debating it because Andrews it's a Wietering or Andrews, right?
Yeah, that was what you decided. Yeah,
But
well, it was really me. I think if you had your way, you would have gone Andrews. So fair enough.
I would, but I feel like I got quite a lot my way, like Ben King.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.